You have probably heard of Parkinson's or MS, but a West Michigan man wants us to know about another neurological condition. It's called ataxia. 13 on Your Side health reporter Elena Holland tells us what it is and how his life has been impacted by it.
If there's one thing Frederick Pepper knows,
Yeah.
its attitude matters.
Well, it gets hard sometimes.
Even when life throws challenges your way.
Got to be really determined that you're not going to just sit back.
This is Frederick's attitude since his diagnosis. He learned 20 years ago for ataxia.
That doctor put the MRI of my head on the screen and immediately said, "You have ataxia." And I said, "What's that?"
Ataxia is poor muscle control, usually from damage to the cerebellum.
I said, "Well, what can I do about it?" And he says, "Well, you just got to go home and learn to live with it."
He worked for 2 more years, then retired, but he never slowed down.
And I'm just recently kind of relying on the wheelchair. So.
One of the challenges is it's not always obvious.
Dr. Nicholas Lannon, a neurologist with Cornwall Health, says there are many types of ataxia, and it can be tough to diagnose.
People just say, "Oh, I'm clumsy," and they don't look into it further.
Ataxia can affect not just muscle movement, but speech, coordination, swallowing, and vision.
It can be very impairing.
Myself, I have prisms in my glasses. Otherwise, I have double vision. And then choking is a big problem.
It can be caused by genetics, autoimmune diseases, infections, strokes, or so many other reasons. Treatment depends on the cause, often physical and occupational therapies, but there is no cure.
There's a lot of people that I know of that just give up. And once you start sitting around, it really progresses.
For 20 years, Frederick tries not to let it change his life for the worse.
We started out in Venice, of all places, with a wheelchair.
Even saying yes to an 18-day cruise with family last year.
And so my son-in-law and son carried me up the steps and down the steps on every bridge.
Now he meets with a few others in West Michigan with ataxia for a support group once a month and hopes to bring more attention to the condition.
In my 20 years or whatever, anytime anybody said, "Well, what's wrong with you?" and I tell them ataxia, nobody ever has a clue what that is.
So, Elena, when are people commonly diagnosed with ataxia?
Yeah, so it happens in clusters. Dr. Lannon said there are some people who are diagnosed as children. That's often a genetic type. Others, it appears in middle age, but most commonly it's diagnosed for seniors who have more underlying issues that could lead to the condition.
Elena, thank you.